This is a beer with Bunzerelly.
So, coming up on New Year's.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about you, but I have put on a lot of weight this year.
Yes, I have too.
I put on a lot of weight. Terrible habits.
Mm-hmm.
Understandably so. Because everyone has their own thing. My friend bikes.
Yeah.
So he has been unaffected by the pandemic because he just gets on his bike and he rides his trails.
Mm-hmm.
But my method of exercise was the gym.
Yeah.
Go to the gym and it helps with depression, anxiety,
Yes.
weight loss. And really the first two things the most is my current dilemma. It's just for peace of mind.
Yeah.
Just to get there and just blank your mind out and have it's almost like meditation. That was my form of meditation. Getting out of the house, I'm at the gym, I'm doing this. I can't pay the bills right this second. I can't do this for work. I'm doing this. So just getting out and doing that was huge. So when that went away and we didn't realize it was going to go away for so long, I never found a replacement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I could have done, Zumba or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, with Billy Banks, whatever his exercise program was.
Yeah, and I tried that stuff too. I tried the cables and stuff, but if you get locked in with certain,
It's not the same. And you're at home and you're doing it, and then the wife yells up the stairs for you to go flip the laundry, and it's not. You're not in the zone.
There's the alone time part of it too. There's everything.
Part of it. Yeah,
the mental decompression. Yes.
Yes, as we're both parents, we're both fathers.
Yes.
So for us, that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I guess if you're living solo, which is a small percentage of us are, maybe just putting on the TV to whatever workout thing will work, but it just doesn't really work.
Yeah.
For us. So I want to call you and talk about ideas because we still got 4 months at minimum until we get the vaccines or whatever. So we got to find other ways. So plans for next year, 2021, New Year's resolutions coming up. I keep saying okay, I'm going to do it now for Christmas. I didn't do it for Christmas. All right, New Year's is coming. I'm going to do it for New Year's.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you my experiences because actually a couple of these things I didn't even tell you. So this will, some of this stuff, but a couple months ago, I had a COVID scare. I was with somebody that had COVID, so I had to report it to work, and I had to go get tested.
Right. And,
it was just a protocol. If you're in contact with someone with COVID, and I went for the COVID test, and they were like, and it kind of goes behind the motivation thing, because really motivation is in your own head. So I go for the COVID test and I take my blood pressure, and my blood pressure is through the roof. And so I'm like, I got to do something about this because I got legitimately scared.
Yeah.
And then obviously you get on, I went to the doctor, they put me on medication and stuff. But in that instant, it's like, let me try to knock this down a notch. So yeah. I'm doing Zumba. I'm doing the workouts on TV. And I'm, I got the cables at home. So I am doing it. Now, it doesn't have that same pump that you get addicted to. Like you said, the gym has a focus and the gym has a thing.
Yeah. You're like, I could curl 40. Let me try to curl 50.
Yeah.
I could curl 50. Let me try to, that whole competition against yourself thing, the meditation of the pump. Yeah, for a half hour straight to yourself.
You're looking at yourself in the mirror, watching your form, and you're like, I know what I'm doing. These guys don't. That kind of stuff,
It's a whole thing. Oh, man, I'm missing it so much talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, here's
and let me just say, I'm no anyone else. I'm no massive guy by any means. I am so out of shape.
Yeah,
but I'm just talking about. I'm not talking I need to go feel the burn like some musclehead. Which, good for them that they're like that. It's just, it was actually, I'm not by any means someone who you would call a musclehead, but it was therapeutic.
Well, it's therapeutic, and as far as like your physical health, what it does is it's you being sore, you feel that investment you put in. So when you're eating, you're thinking you're making your lunch and you're feeling sore from the gym, and it's everything's coming together. And your metabolism is a little higher, so even if you aren't zeroing in, you're losing some weight anyway. Then you're like, oh, let me ride this wave, and that's how everything happens.
Yeah, and the decisions after, it's like, oh, I'm sore. Instead of having a Guinness, let me just get a water.
Yeah, or let me just, I'll make it even easier. It's like, I need 30 grams of protein. Let me eat a chicken breast instead of drinking a shake.
Yeah, it all goes in together. It's like, oh, my shoulders are sore. Let me not just waste me busting my shoulder on a freaking cheeseburger when I could eat this or this.
Yeah, we eat a McDouble. It's like 300 calories, but it's like, well, McDouble's actually like 20 grams of protein. We could eat chicken breast for 150 calories with 30 grams of protein. It's that kind. But you start thinking like that when you're in that mindset. It's an all or nothing thing.
For sure.
Do you think of like looking good and feeling good and everything, but there's like really like the health, like everything comes into play. Your long game.
Yeah, and that was the first thing that I was ever prescribed. Was I went to a doctor, and it was just for something stupid. And they always check your blood pressure when you go. And mine was like ER level. Like, we need to call the hospital type deal. And this was a long time ago. This was like, I think it was my late 20s. I'm 40. And I think it was my late 20s that happened. And yeah, that's like a rude awakening when you hear that. You know what's funny is I asked the doctor too. I'm like, because at the time I was smoking, I quit. So I told the doctor, I'm like, he's like, oh, your blood pressure's high. We're gonna put you on this. I'm like, well, I smoke and I'm severely overweight. Shouldn't I fix those things first? He's like, nope, just take the pills for blood pressure. I'm like, well, are you even gonna tell me to tend to those things? You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate you just being like, nah, just take medicine and leave. And it's like, nah, dude, you could just say quit smoking.
Yeah.
Just say it. It's okay. I'm not going to fight you.
That's the worst part is like
they don't.
When I had the blood pressure scare, I lost like 10 pounds in 2 weeks just from not doing dumb stuff. And it was like, it's that easy if you just focus.
But did the doctor ever say like, hey, eat more veggies and cut down on this? Mine didn't.
No, I said to her, like, hey, I know I'm not at my lowest. I'm not at my worst game, but I'm not at my best game. He's like, okay, well, I'm sure losing weight and the exercise really helped. But when I did the exercise because of the blood pressure scare, I just noticed I was feeling better anyway. Yeah, like my day would go better. Like I would open up. I keep saying Zumba. You can laugh about Zumba all you want, but it was like something easy.
Oh, no, not at all. You sent me the links to it. I'm hitting that up ASAP.
Yeah,
I gotta start doing something.
Well, it was on the Wii. I could do it in the house. I like music, and it's like, okay, cool. Here's something I could do, and it's a calorie burner. I mean, it knocks off a meal basically.
Yeah, and it's not ridiculously hard like Insanity or any of those. A friend of mine sent me Insanity, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this when I get in real good shape. And I got in real good shape at one point to where I could have done it, and I wish I would have done it. But you can't start with that. Like you have to be in good shape to do that. You can't just start with that. And I checked out the videos, and I try to do like the first 5 minutes of the beginner thing, and they have you jump on the ground and do something. And like I couldn't get up. I'm like, this is great, but I can't get up.
Yeah, when you start doing like planks and like burpees and shit like that.
Like, how do I move to the next thing? And they're like, okay, now flip over to this position. I'm like, I'm stuck. Call a hospital.
Jump into a push-up position. Now jump back up onto your feet. Like what?
Yeah, I'll do a backflip and do this.
Grab your lightsaber, jump off the mountain. Like, what are you doing here?
Like, okay, well, I'm gonna call the hospital, but this is fun.
Yeah, I always liked it because I can't do a treadmill thing. I can't just. I think you can, but I was never a big treadmill guy.
It's hard to do. I even went back during the pandemic. I went in between Thanksgiving and Christmas because I went to a Christmas party and I hadn't seen everybody in 6 months, and I got a lot of eyeballs like, wow, you got big. Like I got big fast. So I tried to get back on the treadmill, and I hadn't done it in a while. I'm like, this is boring as hell.
Yeah.
How did I do this before? But the trick is you have to have a good audiobook, or you have to have music that you're not sick of, which is tough to find.
Yes, especially because you have access to all of it. Yeah.
You have access to all of it, and it's funny because I have like I wish I could go back in time and pull up all my old CDs, but CDs don't hold up, and I lost them all, and they're all scratched or whatever. So I just put on Pandora, and I got my 4 or 5 stations. I'm just sick of all of them. But if you find something good, if you find something where you're like, and there's tests that show it, like a song comes on that you like, all of a sudden you start running faster.
Yeah.
Then I could do it. An audiobook will work, but not so well because you want something high tempo and whatever.
Well, that's why I like the Zumba. The Zumba is cool because it's like a 3-minute song, and then it goes to the next song. It's
music. See, you know what? I need to start doing Zumba. And don't think, and I never dogged on Zumba. I never will.
No, I'm just saying the general thing is I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying the general thing. But
yeah, it's not. If somebody walked in while you were doing it, it would that would be my fear.
Oh no,
I'm locking the doors. I'm deadbolting them.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm putting like sheets over the blinds just in case. Like as if people care.
I'm pretty sure I had like I think it was like a roofer or something knock on the door when I was doing Zumba, and I'm like, oh, like that little window,
God.
And he wasn't spying; he was just doing the old like peek through the window to see if I'm home.
Yeah, I just imagined myself the first time doing it, turning around, and the daughter sitting there with the video cam, like, look at my dad, what a dweeb.
And I got sick of my playlist. Because I made a YouTube playlist and I get sick of it. And I switch out. I found other guys doing Zumba videos and I just switch it out. Like, oh, I like this song. I like this song. And it keeps it fresh. But that's the cardio part. Because the cardio, that's the only way I can consistently do cardio. The only other thing I do is like a body combat class. But like even like with going back to the gym, like I could do this. And this is where the COVID comes into play. It's like there's a couple things. I have no problem going to the gym. I'll wipe down the equipment before I use it. I'll wear my mask. And especially my gym, because my gym is like an older demographic. So nobody's there. It's like me and 3 other guys in that gym.
See, that I'd be okay with. I went to mine right when whichever break, I guess winter break started.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just filled with college kids. It was just packed to the brim.
Yeah, you need to look at the
far from me,
mm-hmm.
and an extra 10-minute drive will make a difference if you're like, oh, am I gonna go or no?
Yeah.
So I do like my particular gym, but I picked the wrong day to go because it was right when the holiday started. So it was packed. Nobody's wearing masks. So I go to it, and luckily, the cardio machines are all spaced out very well, and they have them closed. So like mine's open, I'm on, and then they have out of order signs basically, but really just
like restaurants are doing with tables, the same kind of thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Do not use signs. So I was straight where I was. But I was like, I don't know that I'm gonna be able to do this. So once the breaks are over, I'm gonna try again. And the thing that I need to do, and here's the thing I wanted to talk to you about, and it's I mean, there isn't much to talk. It's obvious. I just have to do it, but I just can't get the freaking willpower to do it. Is to wake up and go before I go to work, and I work from home, so I don't even have to wake up that much earlier than I used to wake up. I used to drive an hour to work.
Yeah.
So technically, I could wake up the same time I used to wake up to drive my hour to work, and instead go to the gym for a half hour, and then drive home.
Yeah.
And work from home. I just can't get the freaking motivation to do it. It's killing me.
You know, if you do it for a week, because I am doing it next week because I have to.
Yeah.
Like I'm at the point where it's like, well, especially with all these health things, I got like, you know, I don't have any health issues. I just had a couple of health scares. But anyway, also, like even you know, at the banana factory, I wear this vest. So I have this vest. I'm zipped up. I unzip it when I go on lunch break. Like, okay, let the air in, and I see my belly coming out. Like, wow, I'm the construction worker with a big belly now. Like,
I'm that guy.
But like on my job, because we were like in peak season, we sell a lot of bananas in December. But
I know they are moving a lot of bananas.
A lot of bananas in December. But I was like, so I normally go in at 6. and I was going in at, no, I'm sorry. I wake up at 6 to go in at 7. They gave us an extra hour in the morning, which is great, the overtime and everything. But for the whole month of December, I was waking up at 5. So now I'm waking up at 6 again. And it's not even like, and in my job, it's like, an extra hour. It does bear down on you because, you're just driving heavy machines. It's not that you're busting your ass, but it's an extra hour of like concentrating. Like, let me not crash into anybody. Let me focus on, just an extra hour of work. No big deal. But an hour, if I could just focus, okay, so I had 3 days off. I take 2 of those days because I'm comfy, and we've talked about this before. Well, you and me have talked about this. I'm comfy enough to go to the gym. In the beginning, I would take my son and put him in the daycare. Okay?
The daycare.
Yeah, I can't do the daycare.
Daycare can't do.
To do the daycare is selfish. That's me, you know what I'm saying? That's me exposing him or even risking exposing him and exposing us. That's an unnecessary thing. So I did like the 2-day split where I was doing
and also, you're not hugging everybody in the gym. Whereas he's hugging everyone in the daycare.
Yeah, it's like giving him extra school. Like,
but
here's an extra.
It's not about him getting sick, but also he's a time bomb bringing it home. Because even if you practiced everything you could in the gym, he's not spraying down the slide when he's done with it.
Yeah, and the daycare at the gym isn't following even the protocols schools are following. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the plan put together as well. Yeah. Guaranteed. But so I'm like, okay, I got 2 days. But now I'm like, okay, like a 2-day split. It's getting a little deep into it, but still,
that's fine.
What I'm saying is, like, we had like a 2-day workout. The 2-day workout kind of sucks because it's like full body.
Lower?
Yeah, upper, lower. It's okay. It's not great, but
it's not ideal at all.
But now that I've trained myself to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning for a month. What if one day, because I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off.
So hold on. You trained yourself to get up at 5 every whatever. Have you been going all month?
No, my plan is to go.
Okay.
What I'm saying is if I've been getting up at 5 every day, so to have a 3-day split, I just need to get up for 5 one day.
Yeah.
Because Saturday I don't go because he's off from school. I was doing a 2-day split because I go when he's in school, but I'm not gonna go with him and put him in daycare. I'm not gonna do that till this is all good, or at least we're vaccinated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now I have the opportunity, 3 or 4 days, like 2 days, wake up at 5. But these are the ways I'm thinking now. I have to sacrifice the whole thing, and even you don't have to wake up every, whatever split you're gonna do. Wake up that many days.
So stupid. I didn't even think of that. I don't have to do it every day. I only have to do it 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Not even 3 days. I could do Saturday, Sunday. See, this is why I call you. Yeah. Honestly, Joe, I really don't care for you very much at all.
I just need some workout advice.
But every now and then you give me some good advice. And I'm like, oh, this is why I call him. Because my God, this guy is miserable.
I did a whole Mandalorian show just so I could hear some workout advice. I didn't even want to do the Mandalorian.
I watched this whole show. I hate Star Wars. And then he made me watch the Avengers. I hate those guys too. Batman, all these comics. What am I? All this work I gotta do to get this workout advice. No, it's such a stupid thing, but I didn't even think of it. I could do Saturday, Sunday, because I do push-pull legs. Right? You know push-pull?
Yes.
Push, chest.
Tries.
I'm so out of shape, I forget.
Push his chest and tries.
Chest, tries.
Pull his back and buys.
Shoulders. No.
Oh, okay.
Push, chest, tries, shoulders, because you're pushing.
Yeah.
And then pull back and buys, back and biceps, and then legs. So I could do Saturday, Sunday, push, or no, not push, pull, because that'd be all. So whatever it is. I could do 2 of those Saturday, Sunday, and then I just one day have to wake up early to get to the gym.
Yeah.
And now that I say it like this, it's not so daunting, which it shouldn't be anyway. And that's my whole freaking motivation thing. Is like, it shouldn't be so hard to get motivated to do this stuff.
Well, I could have been doing a 1-day split. I worked it out 1 day, and I was like sore I did a full body. And I'm like, full body is always bullshit. But I did a full body, and I was sore for a week. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
But I didn't do it again. But here's the thing. It's like, well, I want to make a change. And here's the other thing, because here's the thing about January. It's not because it's a new year and everything. And it's small motivations, but it's something good. It's like
you need a reason.
So
and I'm not against the January motivation. And you go in January 1st, and when the last 2 years, I think 2016, 2017, I was doing very well. And I laughed with my buddy about the people coming in January, like, oh, here's all these amateurs coming in.
Yeah.
We laughed about whatever. I'm going to be that guy. But that's whatever little mind game it takes to get you in there. Because I said my girlfriend's birthday was in November.
Mm-hmm.
I says, after her birthday, I'm going to start. Because her birthday, we're going to party. After her birthday, I'm going to start. That didn't happen. All right.
Then you roll into Thanksgiving, and then they're like, well, Christmas is almost here.
Yeah. So I said, okay, so whatever freaking thing it takes to make it happen.
Yeah.
Go with it.
My motivation about January is this. It's not about January, the new year. It's about, I personally know you could do a lot between January and summer. And summer's when you're going to take your family trips, your family vacations, and everybody's be like, oh, look how much. And it's not out of vanity, but there is a prize. There's like, oh, look at Joe. I had summers where, okay, I'll tell you the one where I lost a lot of weight that you know about, but there was a summer where I was on vacation and somebody tagged me in these photos, like, oh, here's our family vacation. And they tagged me in the photos, and that's how I learned how to take your tagged photos, not untag yourself, but make them not appear in your timeline. Because like, I look awful. So they can stay on her timeline, but they're not going on my timeline. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the same way, I will tell you specifically, there was a trip I took. I went to Savannah. And I went to Savannah, and it was like a beautiful, wonderful trip. It was like an awesome trip. And I'm like, beautiful place, beautiful time, great thing. And I'm looking for a picture to post. And I'm like, God, I don't want to post any of these pictures because of the way I look. So that was like in January, February. I was at my heaviest. When we went on our family vacation, that June, July, was where I was at my skinniest recorded weight ever. Like the one where my wife was telling me, like, you got to stop losing weight. Like it was just like,
I remember that. I remember coming up. I was like, oh, hey,
yeah,
you look great. But are you doing a little bit of,
But what I'm saying is,
a little the bing bang.
But here's the thing. I remember you having a summer like that. I remember you having a summer where I walked on you and I was like, holy shit. But it's like, it can be done. So the thing with January is not the new year. It's focus on the summer. You can, from January to summer, make a miracle happen.
Yes. And don't apologize for the vanity part of it, because it is, at least for me, I'll say for me, it starts with the vanity part of it.
Yeah.
But that's not by any means the whole part of it. Because now I'm a dad. I got a 12-year-old. So it starts with that. But the difference is that when I was in my best shape, I would come home from work, or in this case, I would finish work because I work from home now.
Yeah.
And I would be pushing the kid to come outside and do things with me.
Yeah.
I would be telling Maddie, I would come home from the gym. I haven't even thought about this in a while.
You have more energy.
I would come home from the gym. I would have just done an hour workout to where, like, me walking to the fridge now is exhausting. I would come home from the gym and I would make Maddie my daughter, I would make her go put on the proper sneakers to go to the park and go do a dirt trail with me.
Yes.
And she wouldn't want to, but I'd force it on her because when she got there, she was always happy to be there.
Yeah. And
you figure that out as a dad, that sometimes you just got to push a little bit. If I took her there and she didn't like it, I would stop pushing.
Yeah.
But she always loved it. I'm by the water, so we'd find a trail by the water. And now these are memories I have forever. Me and her doing these trails, and she would finally tell me about her day when we're on these trails.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She won't tell me, like, I'm at home. She won't tell me about her day if I ask her right now.
Yeah.
But I take her out on the trail and I don't ask nothing. We're just walking the trail looking for turtles, looking for nature, doing this.
Yeah.
All of a sudden she opens up to me. You know what I mean? And that's really the reason I'm doing it. You know, we keep talking about the weight, and it's like, oh yeah, the weight. It's like, yeah, that's the number. That's the first thing, because that's the unit of measurement for progress. Just like when you're on a diet, calories is the unit of measurement for how much to eat.
Yeah.
But in terms of progress, it's the weight, but it's really the outcome of I'm feeling better. I'm going outside. And now you're outside. Oh, and I want to get to this. Now you're outside. You know, you get the vitamin D from the sun. That helps with depression a lot.
Yeah.
It helps a lot. Just the amount you get from the sun is huge. Because what I just started doing is I'm like, okay, well, it's still holiday season. The gym's still too packed. I don't want to go to the gym until I could muster up the courage to wake up early and go. So I'm like, well, until then, let me at least just start walking, because I'm not even doing that.
Yeah.
So I go to walk. So I work on the computer. I get a full hour break. I only need 5 minutes to eat. You know what I mean? I meal prep. I don't need much time to eat. So I walk around my neighborhood for an hour.
Yeah.
And just walking around. I just started that this last week, and I'm like, I feel so much better just doing that. Just a little bit of sun from that walk and getting out and getting some fresh air, because it's freaking pandemic, man. I've been stuck in this house.
Yeah.
I work from home all day long. The kid comes home. I don't want to take her to a party. I don't want to be around people.
Yeah.
So I'm just stuck in this freaking house. So, you know, I says, okay, well, let me at least do that much.
Well, even like, all right, so for Christmas, Santa got my son a bike. Okay. And I have these things like, okay, I want to teach him to ride the bike, because as a father, I didn't teach my son to ride a bike. So I need to do it for him, and I need him not to be in front of the video games all the time. I need to take him outside and do things with him.
Yeah.
But when I start working out, what happens is now all of a sudden it's like, okay, I need to take him out because I need to not be sitting in the house, or I'm going to start eating shit. Or it's also like everything. When you start that train, everything walks together. Because all of a sudden now it's like,
yes,
because I have a pickup truck. I could you've seen the park. I could throw my bike and his bike in the thing, take him to that park.
And you come home and you're psyched. You're motivated.
Yeah.
So like, oh, okay, well, I still got some energy going. I did my workout. I did my 10 sets or whatever the amount of sets. All right, get the bike, throw it in the car.
Yeah, it's
my bike,
and
throw
it's
it in the car.
You think it's as simple as a switch, and it really is, because when I had the health scare, I had a week where I was just exercising every morning.
And it just takes one. It's like a trigger, but a good trigger.
Yes,
it's like you need that one thing to trigger everything and to get it going. I read a book that everybody should read, and it was basically like, and one of the things that I pointed out was because I read this right before I quit smoking. Mm-hmm. That's why it all comes around. That's why I want to bring this up again. So it said, once you figure out how to quit something, then you start doing it to other things. And then it just blows up. Like when I first quit smoking, I was at my highest weight and I quit smoking. I was like, oh, now I know how to quit an addiction. The power of habit. Yes.
Okay, there you go.
The power of habit. The idea is once you figure out how to, instead of stopping doing one thing, you just convert it to something else. And once you master it, you just end up applying it to so many other things. And they say once you do your first one, it snowballs. And that's what happened with me. Was I read it because I wanted to quit smoking. And I did. But then I just applied it to starting to work out, to doing this. And it just says anytime you have like you feel like you need a cigarette. Okay, well, you figure out, okay, let me isolate that habit. So, and this applies to every addiction. So, all right, I feel a tension. How do you know the habit's coming? So if you're a smoker, maybe you feel me or maybe you don't. But you feel tension coming up. And I felt it in my mouth, in my jaw. I always felt tension when I need the cigarette. So you feel this coming on, and then you start feeling anxiety. Okay, so what do you do to fix that? I go out and smoke. Okay, well, how about try to do something else when that happens? So I feel it coming. Instead, I walk around my building.
Okay.
And it said just do something like walk around the building or do this or eat this, but do something to where once that feeling comes, you do this. So the idea is you trick yourself to associating this action with that feeling. So I feel like I need a cigarette, I walk around the block.
Gotcha.
I come back, and now that walking around the block, because you think if you're a smoker, just getting outside and getting away from work is relieving.
Mm-hmm.
So I would still go outside, but I would walk around the block instead and then come back in. And then it's like, okay, that's how I defeated that habit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the tension. Something built up, you addressed it.
Yeah. And then once you master how to do a reaction thing like that, you just end up applying it to other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it snowballs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I started losing weight, started doing this diet, whatever. And then all went to hell during pandemic.
Yeah.
So it says, so I started trying to do the diet again. It wasn't happening. I said, okay, let me start from scratch. So now it's like, okay, well, now I got to wake up at this time. Now I got to do these walks.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to do this. You got to make habits. That's the point. You
Yeah.
gotta force yourself into a habit.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's tough. And the trick to doing it is if you just do something enough times, it will turn into a habit. Like my thing was, like I said from the get-go, is I can't wake up early and go to the gym. I'm having a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
I just freaking force myself to do it.
You would feel great, and you get addicted to it.
Yeah, but just do it 5 days. If I could just go this week and do it 5 days. And Terry Crews actually said this. This is the coolest. This ties in with this book. So Terry Crews says, if you can't get yourself to the gym to work out, if you can't motivate yourself to do that, just go to the gym and do nothing. But if you can wake up and put on the clothes and get to the gym and sit in a chair, you do that 5 times in a row, you have a habit. And then next time you go after that, actually work out while you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the gym. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did weeks waking up I did a whole month waking up at 5. Waking up at 5. Did everything else I was supposed to do. Did the podcast, did the Mandalorian season, did everything. Like just did, and now like all of a sudden this many hours I have this many more hours that are mine.
Yeah. Yeah, we just gotta do it. Like my shift hasn't changed. I start at 8. So instead of waking up at 7, driving an hour and getting to work at 8, I start my shift at 8. I wake up at 7:59. And I go, huh? Okay, let's work. All right, what?
Yeah.
All right, I'm working now. So if I would have I screwed myself so bad. That's when I should have made the switch.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, okay, well, I've been waking up at 7 anyway. Let me wake up at 7 and then instead of going to work, go to the gym.
Yeah. And once you start doing it, you're going to, because here what happens to me is like because I used to wake up at 9 for work when I was working at Rascals, famous for the Rascal fries and Rascal baskets. And now I wake up at, I go to work at 7. It's all relative because at the end of the night, no matter what I'm doing, if I'm partying or all of a sudden like a switch hits me, it's like, okay, it's 10 o'clock. I need to go to bed now. I used to be up at 1 in the morning. Now I hit 11 or 12. I'm pushing it. You know what I'm saying? Even now I'm pushing it, but I'm like, okay, right. I'm talking to you. I'm having fun. But what I'm saying is my body adjusts. So what's the difference? Like my wife and son go to sleep at 8:30. So if I go to bed at 9 and wake up and go to the gym and.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. I stay up hours after they're in bed.
Yeah.
It's like I could just go to bed when the kid goes to bed. I could wake up hours earlier.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, and it's so frustrating because we see what to do.
Everybody knows what to do.
It isn't like I don't know how to fix the problem. No, I know how to fix it.
We fixed it before.
I fixed it before.
We know it's funny. We talk about things that like sound easy and sound simple, but like you and me are both having the same thoughts, and everybody goes through the same stuff and the same things. But it's like, whatever's happening, things are possible, and maybe. I'm sure we motivated each other, and hopefully we motivated some other people out there. But I think, we got a good motivation going. No matter what you're going through, it's excuses are excuses, and things are always happening. Things are going on. But hopefully, somebody got something out of this. But I think you and me definitely did, Bob. So, hey, thanks for being here, and it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Love you.
Love you too, brother.